Om Swastiastu. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to East Bali Hunter Tour and Travel channel. My name is Ni Nengah Hardiyanti, and in this video, I would like to share some information about the uniqueness of Balinese cultures. So, today, in this video, we will learn about the unique cultures of Bali Aga villages, which known as the aboriginal Balinese. Okay, without further ado, let's start it. Maybe many people think that Bali is an island with a homogeneous community. Actually, it is true that the majority of the population here is Hindu, and in every major Hindu ceremony, Bali becomes lively with many festivals and decorations. But actually, these perceptions of homogeneity is a little bit wrong because the Balinese Hindu community can be divided into several classifications based on their arrival on this island. One of the original inhabitants of this island is known as Bali Aga, who currently lives in several villages in Bali. According to the experts, there are three waves of human migration in Bali. The first wave occurred during the prehistoric times, and the second wave occurred when Hinduism began to spread throughout Indonesia, and the third wave happened when the Majapahit kingdom was collapsed and Islamization took place on Java. Those who came in the first and the second wave are referred as Balinese native tribe or Bali Aga. Meanwhile, the third wave of migration was dominated by Hindus from Java. In Bali, they are referred as Bali Jawi or Bali Daratan people. Actually, Bali Aga community lived in a relatively isolated area, such as in the mountain or in the hills, and this community lived their daily life with very strict customary rules. Each community has its own rules, which can be slightly different than those in other villages. And also, the language that they use in each community is a bit different too. They still use Balinese language, but with a very noticeably different dialect compared to other places or other villages in Bali. Furthermore, people in Bali Aga village usually maintain their customs very tightly. The residents in this place are not permitted to marry people outside their community. If someone is married to an outsider, the person must leave the village. Especially for the man, he is not only leave the village, but he also loses some rights like inheritance from the family. Furthermore, in Bali Aga village, interfamily marriages are permitted with a minimum threshold of 4 generation difference. Although Bali Aga community culturally does not interact or assimilate with outsiders, the people are very open to the presence of other communities, including the guests or foreign tourists. People from Bali Aga village will accept anyone with open arms as long as the guest respects their cultures. Okay. Now I would like to give you some recommendation if you're curious and want to visit Bali Aga village in Bali. Okay, I would like to recommend you to visit Tenganan and also Trunyan village. Actually, there are many Bali Aga village. There are many Bali Aga villages in Bali, but among them, Tenganan and Trunyan are the most popular. Okay, first, let's talk about Tenganan village. Tenganan village is known for its cultural exclusivity and also the ginseng fabric that they produce. Actually, this village is located in Karangasem Regency, and Tenganan village start to open to the world or to the outside world starting in the 1970s. And today, Tenganan village has become a tourism village that receives many visits annually. Yeah. If you visit Tenganan village, you will probably see sarungs and other more unique textiles fluttering gently in the breeze outside of the houses. Many of these are hand-woven, made right there in the homes. And the most famous of these is the double ikat cloth, known as geringsing. This complex technique is known in only 3 places in the world, which are in Tenganan, Japan, and in the Gujarat area of Western India. And in making geringsing, both the webbed and the warped threads are tied and dyed into complex patterns before they are woven, and skilled dyers make sure that the patterns match. Using ancient techniques, it is quite difficult to understand the technique, and the earthy colors of oxblood red, indigo, creams, and blacks are all made using natural dyes, and it is a long and laborious process. One piece can take months or even years to produce, and the result is very unique and distinctive from other fabrics. So that's why geringsing, or also known as Tenganan geringsing fabric, is very expensive. And in Bali, it is quite a status symbol to own one of this geringsing fabric. Okay. And I would like to tell you the most beautiful time to visit Tenganan is during their big month of celebrating Musabe Sambah ceremony, which held between June and July each year. This Usabe Sambah festival is the time when the sprawling village is at its best, and one of the most attended of all the events is Perang Pandan. You can find the Bloody Pandan War festival in this village. Perang Pandan is a unique age-old tradition. It also referred, Perang Pandan also called or known as Makari-kari or Megeret Pandan among the locals, and it is a war dance ritual that symbolizes power and strength over enemies, and dedicated to the Hindu god of war, Indra. Okay. This duel must be real fighting, and of course one of two must injure and draw blood from the other. So all the participants must be well prepared. Actually, they carried weapons including a shield made from woven rattan and a bundle of thorny pandan leaves, which are used to scratch the opponent's skin until bleeding. Okay. Before this ritual duel begins, the participations actually drink rice wine or the local palm known as tuak. In this context, drinking is a symbol of brotherhood and sportsmanship. Now let's talk the other famous Bali Aga village in Bali, the Trunyan village. Trunyan village is located in Bangli Regency. It is a mountain village which is located on the eastern shore of Lake Batur. And for your information, the Trunyan village community doesn't like to be called as Bali Aga because they consider this term has negative connotation. So they prefer to be called as Bali Mula, or in English it means original Balinese. Okay, what is so special about Trunyan village? Okay, I will tell you that Trunyan village is famous because they didn't bury or cremate the dead bodies. The bodies are simply placed openly on the ground, covered with the only clothes and bamboo cage. Once again, when someone dies in Trunyan, their body isn't buried or cremated. It's placed in a bamboo cage alongside a row of 10 others and left to decompose. Once all the flesh has disintegrated, the skull is removed from the rest of the skeleton and placed on a stone altar underneath a sacred tree, where it becomes another building block of the shrines. It's the only region in Bali where the ceremony takes place, and only those who were married are entitled to the honor. The bodies of the unmarried people are simply only buried. Furthermore, Trunyan Cemetery, where the bamboo cage sits, is close to the village but only accessible by boat across Lake Batur. And for your information, only men are permitted to go there and deliver the bodies after the preparation ritual, such as involves cleaning the corpse with rainwater and wrapping it in cloth and leaving the head of the dead body uncovered. It is believed that if women venture to the cemetery, the village will be struck by an earthquake or volcanic eruption. Furthermore, the bamboo cages are arranged under a taru menyan tree. It is known as a sacred tree, a special species that emits a pleasant scent that is said to neutralize the smell of rotting. When all the cages are full of bodies, the one that has been there longest is removed to make room for the next and placed on a pile. Only when the body is completely skeletonized is the skull removed to place on the stone steps of the altar. Okay. After a long explanation, it can be concluded that Bali Aga village has a unique and relatively different culture compared to other places in Bali. Their naturally isolated locations make them have limited interaction with the outside world. But now, those villages have become an attractive cultural tourism destination where you can see firsthand how the indigenous culture of Balinese society is carried out every day. Well, everyone, that's all my explanation about the unique cultures of Bali Aga villages. I hope you can learn something and please enjoy the beauty of Balinese culture. See you next time on another video and